Hi, everyone, and welcome to this How to Stand Out on Your CV or your Resume Student Edition. My name is James Kennedy, and I will be your host for today's session. So let's start with the slides. This is, for context of anyone watching this, these are the slides that I use when I go and volunteer at local schools and universities around me and show them how to make it easier for hiring managers to see how you can help them with their problems. So let's start. First off, an intro. My name is James Tomasi Kennedy. If you look for me on social media, my middle name is in there. And the reason for that is a couple of things. I'm from the island of Fiji and Rotuma, and it's part of my heritage and it's part of who I am. And for a lot of years, it was very much about trying to fit in and be in the crowd. I'm a first generation immigrant from Fiji to the UK, and it was all about trying to fit in. And now it's like, why am I going to fit in when I'm unique as I am? So part of the reason for the name and putting my middle name in there is because there's a million James Kennedys out there, but there's only one James Tomasi Kennedy. And just like on your CV, just like on your resume, you need to be able and be confident to stand out from the crowd. And that's what we're doing as part of this workshop today. So, a bit of background on who I am and what I've done in the past. My early career, 20 years working in corporate. So I've been in education, I've been in retail, fast food, financial services, and civil nuclear engineering. I've helped to support multi-billion pound IT projects, including the nuclear power station they're building down in Hinkley. So this is the work experience and working on different projects and change management initiatives and process improvement initiatives and managing people in the past, which is why when I'm helping people land jobs and helping companies find the right candidates, I'm able to speak from different perspectives because I've lived through it all. And also, as part of what I do as well, I've invested. So growth mindset, people talk about it a lot. For me, that means I've invested. I've invested in my own personal development, in marketing and sales to improve myself and learn from the success of others. Right? I'm always looking for the shortcuts. And for me, the shortcuts is not trying to figure it out myself, but learning what all these amazing other people have done and take what they have and done it as well. I'm also a qualified neurolinguistic practitioner, which means I can hypnotize people if they give me permission. But that's what I normally do. What I've got from that course is the power of words and how it makes us feel, and the power of words that we use to make others feel as well. Okay, so some of the mentors and coaches I admire that I've taken courses from includes Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Stephen Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and one of my favorite books is The Secret, The Law of Attraction by Rhonda Byrne. Right, focusing on what I want from the world rather than what, like most people, focus on everything they don't want, and they get surprised when they're receiving everything that they're focusing on that they don't want. Okay, so that just given context and a background on who I am and what I've learned, that's helped me help people all over the world. Okay, so and the other thing I want to say as well as we go through this, knowledge does not equal power. I'll say it again. Knowledge does not equal power. All this knowledge and all this experience and what I'm going to be sharing you is absolutely useless if you don't do anything about it. Okay. And I'm also here. I want to tell people as well that I'm not here to save anyone. Right? If things are to happen, you have to take control of your life and you have to do things differently if you're not happy with the situation and where you are right now. Okay. Like that quote says, knowledge is like paint, does no good until you apply it. Okay. So I'm sharing this because I'm saying this is from experience. I'm doing things the long and the hard way and showing you some shortcuts, but you still have to use it. So, as an executive coach and career coach and recruiter now, um, I've helped people all over the world, 34 different countries at the moment and counting, right, to transition into better paid roles with over 100 plus LinkedIn recommendations. I've helped people, Canada, US, South America, all over Europe, Asia Pacific, right, Middle East, and Africa as well. Some of these brands you might know because I've helped people put into those brands and just help people. And this is not uh, industry specific. where the people I've helped. It's the same strategies that I've taken out and I'm using here and I'm sharing and I've helped graduates as well. Graduates and students have helped them land their first job and their next job through this as well. Okay, so what I'm sharing here, I just wanted to let you know that it's not some theory stuff. I've proven it, and it's part of why I want to give back and share this all with you to increase your chances of landing the next role. So what I also want to say as well is that it didn't start out this way. As I said earlier, I'm a first generation immigrant from Fiji to the UK. Right? And in that time, I've transitioned to 8 different careers. I've also been made redundant 3 times. So I know the pain, the challenges, and the shame of being out of work and struggling to find your next job. I've lived it many times and it's not very nice. So I want to share this as well. So for you students and parents of students are watching this later on, I want to try and help your kids, right, and the next generation increase the chances of reducing this as much as possible. There's a lot of things outside of control. And so instead of focusing on those things outside of control, what can we do differently to stand out from everybody else? Okay. And while I do videos every single day now, it didn't start out that way, right? When I started, I was a shy introvert. Okay. Growing up, I was a very shy introvert. And how bad of an introvert I was? I went to an all boys Catholic school. And so growing up, I was so shy that when the girls wanted to come and speak to me, I used to run the other way. Right? That's how bad it was. And I hated public speaking. And I hated the sound of my voice. And, I'm not the type of person you'd expect to be doing videos because, like I said, I've got a crooked nose, crooked teeth, no, terrible voice that I thought anyway at the time. Right. And that was the mindset stuff that I needed to be overcome to do this today. So, at the same time, I want to challenge everybody else out there that whatever excuses that you're telling yourself as to why you can't do something, I'm going to call out BS, right? Because if I can do it from a small island or place like Fiji, why not any of you? Right? So as we go through this, I'm also going to be challenging yourselves to stop settling and aim higher. That's what we're doing here. Okay. So as we go through this, I'm going to be asking you questions, right? Answer it in your mind, write it down if you need to, but just answer the questions as you go along because this is supposed to be interactive. And when I do this in workshops, I ask questions to the students and I wait for it. So we do this together. So while I'm doing this online, answer the question for yourself. Add your comments into the bottom of the video and let me know what you think as we go through as well. All right. So the first question, how many of you know exactly what you wanted to do when you were growing up? All right. How many of you? Do you know what you want to do? Like some people I speak to in their 40s and they still don't know what they wanted to do, okay, when they grew up. And they still haven't grown up either, right? So for me, what I want to say is when I was younger, I was always jealous. I was always jealous of all those students that seemed to know exactly what they wanted to do, right? I was jealous. I wasn't happy with any of them because I was like, wow, look at that confidence. Look at what they're doing. I wish I had that. And I didn't have any of those things. So one day I did one of those career workshops, career surveys. And I looked at the survey and I wrote it out and I filled it out. And I spoke to my mom and I said, hey, Ma, this survey says I should study psychology. What do you think? And my mom looks at me and she says, are you mad? And that was the end of my psychology career, right? Because for anyone coming from, small island nations and developing countries, we don't think about psychology or coaching or any of the stuff I'm doing today. We'll talk about the doctors, engineers, all these amazing roles and amazing jobs, but it just wasn't, it didn't ever feel right for me, any of those things. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but none of those appealed to me at that time. And so, like a good son, I went to university and I did business studies. I did business studies and I was thinking, okay, my logic was business isn't everything. So I'll do business studies. And when I come out, I'll have a better idea of which avenue of business I want to get into. And I finished university and I came out and I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And fast forward 20 plus years later, 8 different careers, so many different things. And today I teach people about sales, about marketing, about storytelling, and about psychology. So my point I want to say to you guys as you watch this is whatever you wanted to do in when you were younger, and maybe life happens, things happen, right? It's never ever too late to change and to transition into something that you want to do right now. The dream is never too late, right? And I'm living proof of it as to someone that wanted to study psychology, and today I'm doing exactly what I need to do. And my journey and everything that have helped me to come here has been all part of the plan as well. Right? I believe things happen when it's meant to happen, and things are meant for a reason. You're watching this right now because it's the right time for you to do it. Okay. So my journey and my challenges and what I've gone through and my struggles in the past has helped me become a better coach and be able to be more effective in what I do today because I understand the challenges of what candidates are going through, but also as a hiring manager, I understand the problems and the challenges of what hiring managers are looking for as well. Okay. So as we go through this, as we start this, we're talking about your CV, we're talking about your resume. Okay. And so my question for you as you write this, think of a number right now as you're going through this workshop and you're going to now. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being amazing, how would you rate your CV? All right, that's the question. Write down a number to yourself. How would you rate your CV as you watch this here? And then we'll come back to that. Park that and we'll come back to that. So here's another question for you. What do you think is the difference between someone working minimum wage, say the person on there flipping burgers in a restaurant, and someone in a highly paid office job? Okay, so the person doing minimum wage is working very hard, is doing making an amazing burger, but his role can be easily someone else can learn that process, learn that role, no, in 30, 20 minutes or less. Okay. So it's not, he's good at what he does, but his role and what he does is easy to replicate and teach someone else on. Okay. So if you think about the value of what he does, if he doesn't come to work tomorrow, someone else can easily do his job. Okay. So yes, it's a good job, but the demand and the scarcity of the skills to learn that role is low. Okay. On the other side, you've got someone sitting in a on a laptop, pressing a couple numbers, maybe in the stock market, trading or crypto these days. What's coming in? They're doing that, and they might be earning 1 million a year plus. Yeah, million a year plus. And people say, yeah, but that must be, is that a lot of money or is that not a lot of money? And for me, the things I want to explain to people is while he might be getting a million plus a year, he's making his customers and his company maybe 10, 20, 50 million plus a year, right? So what two things I want to highlight for people is you need to think about whatever you do, if you're looking to get high paying jobs, you need to think about the value you can make for others. And it's the same concept if you're thinking about going into a role, or same concept you think about entrepreneurship. You got to think about the value you can make for others, right? The more value you can make for others, the more other people are going to willing to pay you good money and big money for what you do. Okay. The other thing I want to think specialists, right? Specialists. If you think about the doctor or the GP or the brain surgeon, both doctors, both medical professions, but there was something wrong with your brain and you had funding, okay? Who would you prefer to go and look at your brain, right? The normal GP or the specialist brain surgeon that does it all the time, okay? So again, the value you can make for others will determine your salary, but the specialist skills that you learn and the scarcity of those skills and the demand for those skills will also impact it as well. Okay. So something to think about if you're not sure what you want to do yet and you're still figuring out what you want to do in the future. Okay. To help you make some decisions if needed. The other thing I want to tell people all the time as a hiring manager myself, I don't care about you. I don't care about you at all. Okay. And that might sound harsh, but I need you to understand something. Hiring managers on a daily basis have to fight lots of different fires. Okay. And what I mean by that is you got to look after your team. There's customers you have to deal with as well, the challenges. You have to manage your senior, your bosses and everything as well. And in terms of all those things and all those fires, they got to have to find the right person for the job as quickly as possible, right? And when I say hiring managers don't care about you, it's because most candidates on their CV, on their resume, talk about themselves. I do this, I do that, I'm great at this, I'm great at that. And I tell people, I don't care. Because what I do care about is what you can do for me. Understanding, I didn't study psychology, but what I'm trying to say is human nature says, what's in it for me? Right? In general, human nature says, what's in it for me? And so CVs coming in, right? This is what I do. I don't care. What can you do for me? So the way I speak to people and work with people is that before you work on your CV, before you work on your resume, understand the job description. Focus on how you can help fix the problems on the job description. And so I tell people, think of a job description as a list of problems, and your role is to convince the hiring manager that you're the best person to come and fix those problems. Okay? That's what we're doing, right? Stephen Covey in his book says, seek first to understand before being understood, right? Understand, and I want to think of your hiring manager, you think of the job description as a customer, right? Because you're having to market yourself. And I know a lot of us hate the word selling and sales, right? A lot of us help to also don't like blowing our own trumpet as well, right? And and all those. And so what I'm trying to say is that's exactly what you need to be doing to increase your chances of landing the job. But we can do it authentically and it can still be us as well. Okay. So focus on the problems and show them how you've solved similar problems in the past. So as we go to the CV and the resume, before we do that, I said focus on the problem first, right? So this is just a Five Guys. But it's a burger chain, and I just went online and I picked up one of their job descriptions. And so I highlighted some of the attributes for the type of person they're looking for. Help with customer service, communication, working together, right? Competitive, enthusiastic, family, get it done, and integrity. So these are some of the values and attributes they're looking for. And so I always tell people, this is what they're looking for. Show them how you've done something similar in the past, right? Because these are problems. You're a problem solver. Show them how you've done something similar in the past. Okay. So we park that, look at those keywords, think of them as problems. I understand what they're looking for someone in this role. And then we start working on the CV. So first things first, on your CV, get your name. Some people I've seen, they still have curriculum vitae on the top or, CV or something. I said, no, 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 put your name, right? Your name is your brand. Your name is unique. Your name is yours, right? Put that in there. Location, zip code is sufficient. I've seen some senior directors and they still put the home address on there. Okay. And so for people reading and watching, I said, would you give all your personal details to a stranger online? Because just because they're a recruiter doesn't mean, there's some dodgy people as recruiters out there. Okay. So what I tell people is location and postcode. You don't need your house number and exactly where you live. Location, postcode is sufficient. Mobile, your cell number there, and then your email address. Okay. Some people get too attached to the email and they have like, as an example, Fuzzy Ducks 27. Okay, because that was a cool email address they used out in university when they're growing up, and now they're applying for jobs. They want to use that one. Okay, if you're going for a role in a position, and it's a professional position, senior IT project manager, senior director, and you have an email like that, it's not a very good first impression of who they think you are. Rightly or wrongly, how long does it take you to make an impression of someone you just met? Okay. For me, it's like that. And it's just human nature. It's not something you can fight. Okay, so I tell people understand human nature, understand people's psychology, and just go with the flow. So make it a professional email address. So after your full name, then we're going to put in a headline statement. Okay, in marketing, and for those of you that are on Instagram and TikTok and all these other social media platforms, how long does it take you to decide whether you're going to stop, keep scrolling or stop the scroll and watch something, right? Because today we have so much information at the moment, so much information from all over the place. So you have to hook them as quickly as possible. So most CVs and most resumes that I see have like professional statement, personal bio, right? Summary. We know it is, but give them something they want and something they need that's relevant for the role. So, for example, for this one here, that was applying for a role at Five Guys, motivated team player with a passion for customer service. If you're a hiring manager at Five Guys or any other restaurant, okay, or something that needed customer service, motivated team player with a passion for customer service, would you be wanting to read more about this person? Okay, it's the same psychology, in terms of human nature when we choose a book to read. Okay, you pick up a book. How do you choose if you want to read the book or not? How do you choose if you want to watch that Netflix movie or not? Okay, we look at the cover, we look at the preview, we look at the back of it, right? And the summary. If the summary does not resonate, how likely are you to want to watch that movie or read that book if it's something you're not really interested in? Okay, for most of us, not very likely, right? So imagine the poor hiring manager sitting at their desk and they got hundreds of CVs and resumes that have nothing to do with the role, right? Because that's the challenge. The poor hiring manager, the poor recruiters at the moment, sifting through lots of paperwork that they're not interested in because people talk about themselves and not how people can help them with the problems. Okay. So first impression, super important, motivated team player. Okay. So from there, we go into your introduction, right? So this is a tailored introduction for that role. Ambitious crew member who thrives in fast-paced team environments, right? And so crew member, we're calling ourselves a crew member because that's the job title that they're looking for. And I put ambitious because who wouldn't want someone ambitious? Okay, could even put aspiring, right? If you're coming out this is your first job, aspiring crew member, right? Who thrives in fast-paced team environments because those are like in the restaurant, it's fast-paced, right? Lots of customers, lots of things happening, relevant to the role, known for being reliable and friendly. Okay, attributes of who you are that's relevant to the role, right? And committed to delivering excellent customer service. Now, again, for those out there, you say put yourself in the hiring manager, right? As Stephen goes, seek first to understand. So I understand from the job description the problems, and I'm giving them what they need and what they want, right? Basic crew member, known for being reliable and friendly. And so what we talked about in the top here is everything that you've done in the past that's relevant for the role. Yeah? I call it a 5 yes introduction. I want them to say yes to you as many times as possible. Okay. And then the second one at the bottom is what I call a pattern interrupt, right? Where everything at the top is looking backward. This next line is looking forward. And what you're looking for, coincidentally, matches what the company's looking for a great opportunity to learn and contribute in a competitive team environment, right? Again, put yourself in the hiring manager's shoes. If I do this so many times and I'm telling them yes, 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 how likely are they want to learn more about you? Okay, that's what we're doing here. So this is what it looks like together. Your 5 yes introduction. Motivated team player with a passion for customer service. Ambitious crew member who thrives in fast-paced and team environments, known for being reliable, friendly, and committed to delivering excellent customer service. Looking for a great opportunity, etc. Okay? Would you, if you saw this and you needed a crew member for your restaurant and someone gave you this intro, would you like to learn more about this person? Okay, this is the summary. This is, I work on tell people First impressions count. You want to give the best of you up front. Okay, the best of you are relevant for this. So especially like for students, I want to say to everyone as well that the standard of CVs and resumes is so poor out there that if you start learning how to tailor your CV, tailor your resume for roles, it's so much easier to stand out. But you got to understand the psychology of what we're doing here. And for those of you that know how to do, learn to do AI and ChatGPT and any other platforms out there, you can throw this in there and them to give you a different perspective and then use it. But a lot of people, what they're doing is they're getting ChatGPT to write it for them without understanding the psychology and the reasons why we do things. Okay, so yes, you can use the AI tools, but I understand the psychology and do it this way first, and then you put it into AI for them to give a different perspective. Right? So the next section, I'm going to talk about the star format. Anyone familiar with the star format as you're going through this? Okay, so for anyone that's not familiar, the star format is a storytelling technique, as I like to call it, which can be used in an interview. And in the interview, there will be, competency-based type questions where say, can you give me an example where you had to deal with a difficult customer, for example? In the past, I used to get so nervous in interviews that they asked me a question like this, and I'd get nervous and I'd start rambling on. And halfway through rambling on some answer, I'd realize it didn't even match the question they asked me, right? So I'll be nervous. I don't know how to stop, and I keep on rambling on anyway, right? So, um, so what I did, so what this format does is helps you to frame the different frame your answer to make it easier for them to see the different aspects of what you've done to help them. So the situation of the customer came in, they weren't happy with their order. My task was to work with them and understand what the challenge was and figure out how to resolve it. The actions was I did this, this, and this, and the result was that they went away happy. Okay, that's just a simple example, but that's how you use the star format. All right, I like to call it the superstar method. Okay, and my company is Superstar Recruitment because it's all about being the superstar. And part of it as well is not just about um, sharing your answer. It's the mentality and the attitude that's coming to say, if a job description list of problems, you are the best person to come in and solve those problems. Okay, you're the superstar, and you have to have that mindset and the mentality and that confidence. Okay, because part of everything what we're doing, guys, is confidence. Understanding who you are, who you were, what you bring to the table, and articulate the value you bring based on previous examples. Right? That's what we're doing here. So if we think of ourselves as a superstar, we need to look at the star method as solving problems. Right? So first off, we're going to look at, so these are some of the keywords from the job description. And these keywords are problems, communication, right? I need someone that's good at communication. Show me how you solve the problem. Teamwork, customer service, integrity, get it done, competitiveness. These are words on the job description. You take it and then you need to show me how you've solved similar problems in the past. Okay? So teamwork, what's the problem? Okay, group assignment with three others. So we're going to use teamwork as the example from one of those problem keywords. And here's an example. If you're a student and you don't have much experience, I want to show that even your group work, the challenge you have to do, and working in new teams and two members can be an example. So what's the problem? Group assignment with three other students that need to be completed in 2 weeks. Didn't really know each other and not very sure what we had to do, right? Common group work challenges and issues when you have to work in new teams. That's the situation. The task, what did you have to do? So we chose a relevant, sorry, choose a relevant topic and figure out the best way to divide up the work fairly between everyone. Okay. That's the task. Then the actions is how. How did you do it? Nominated a leader, agreed a topic, divided up the work, scheduled when to meet up, and supported teammates who were struggling. Okay. Some of the things that people have to do and what they have to go through to fix the problem. Okay. Then the result. Now, the result, when I speak to people, this is very important. The so what, right? You could have done all these things, but so what? Who cares? Okay. And so what I talk to people about is that you need to understand the three things that every single business have in common and what they need to survive. So every single business out there needs to be bringing in revenue, right? Revenue has to come in. No revenue, the business is not going to survive. And even if you're a non-profit NGO or a university, you still need funding to come in, right? Just because it's coming from the government or someone else, it's still revenue that needs to come in to survive. The second thing that every single business in the world needs is process improvements. Because when you can do the same process in half the time, you're saving both time and money. Okay. And then the third thing that every single our business out there needs is regulatory compliance. If you're a legal business, you're going to have to listen to what the governments and the regulators say you have to do. Because if you don't, you can get heavily fined, potential uh, impact to the business reputation, and potential closing down. Okay. So, in a very, very simple terms, every single business out there needs to be making money, saving money, and avoid paying money out. Okay. So when you write down your achievements, that's got to talk about those things there because that's important to every single business out there. So the example there for this one here was project completed on time, received an A grade, and positive feedback from the teachers. Right? Some of the results that are relevant for what we're doing here and getting it done well, getting a project done well. Okay. But as you can see, that's too much information to put on your CV. So we're going to have the introduction, your 5 years introduction of who you are and why they should read more about you. And then the next section is a key achievements accomplishment section. So what we're doing here, as you can see, I've taken that keyword teamwork from the list of problems on the job description, and I'm showing them how I've solved a similar problem in the past. Okay, collaborated on a new class project with your new team members to a very tight deadline. First sentence talks about the problem before you. Okay, the second sentence talks about the result. Delivered the project on time and received top marks for our efforts and positive feedback from key stakeholders. I put key stakeholders, positive feedback from teachers. It's the same wording. We're just changing the language to be a bit more corporate so that it resonates with the company that you were talking with. Okay. The great thing about key achievements and accomplishments, whether you're a student or later on in life, is that this is a section that helps you highlight the best of you, relevant for the role, regardless of where and when in your career history you've done it. We don't talk about company, we don't talk about issues, we talk about fixing a problem relevant to the keywords they're looking for. Okay, so you can see the keyword is in bold because it's what I call signposting. Oh, you need someone to help with signposting? Here is a problem I've dealt with in the past and the result related to teamwork. Okay, so think of yourself as a hiring manager and they're reading this. Here's teamwork. That's what I need. Yes, well done. It's on my job description. And this is an example. Okay, would you want to learn more about this person? Now, here's where the magic happens, right? And here's some strategy I want to share with you right now. If you think about the STAR method, we've talked about the situation and the task, and we've talked about the result. Okay, situation, here's the problem, here's the task, and here's the result. What's missing from the STAR method that we haven't talked about at all? Okay, and it's not on the CV. Okay, it's not on the CV. So situation, the task, right? Fixing the problem, and here's the result. Okay, what's missing? So if you haven't guessed it yet, what we haven't put on the CV is the how the heck did you do that? How did you do this? It's not there. We talk about the problem, we talk about the result. How did you do this? It's not on there. What does the hiring manager need to do if they want to know more about you? The how. Okay? They gotta call you in for an interview. They gotta call you in for an interview. What's the point of a CV, guys? To get you an interview. I ask this question all the time. What's the point of a CV? And they tell me it's to get hired. No, the CV is not going to get you hired. No one's going to get hired off the back of the CV. What the CV does is get you shortlisted to give you potential interview so that where you can close the deal, right? So what we're doing here, guys, is that the story that helped you the story that helped you land an interview is the story that you expand on in the interview to help you close the deal. Let me say that again. The story that helps you land an interview is the story you expand on in the interview to help you close the deal. Does this work? I've had multiple candidates all over the world land their next job for them from their very next set of interviews. Okay, because we're using the same logic and we're helping to understand what the hiring manager needs and we're showing the best of us relevant for that role. Okay, this is how I've been helping so many people land jobs, right? So you learn this here, you learn these skills for life. That's why I tell people I don't write your CV for you. I work with executives and we do it together because I want people to learn these skills, they can master these skills, get them move forward in the career, but also at the same time they can help the family and friends and loved ones around you as well. Okay, use this, go and help more people to get to where they need to go faster. Right. So one of the other things as well as I want to show, if you haven't noticed already, what does that funny looking bullet point look like for you? Okay, what does that funny looking bullet point look like for you? Okay, so someone call it a tick mark or a check mark, depending on where you are in the world. Yes, it is. That's what exactly what it is. Okay, so what we're doing here is if you think about the strategy and the psychology of how we put the CV together, there's an introduction where you're telling them yes, 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 as many times as possible. And then there is on this one here, there's a visual marker. Call it my subtle ninja trick, right? It's a visual marker that says you're looking for someone with teamwork. Yes, I have that. And here's an example. And the other thing I want to say as well is you see here, the example is in past tense, guys, because it's problems you've already solved and it's specific problems you've already solved, not generic. I've helped with teams and worked with teams all over the world. No, no, give me specific problems you've solved. Tell me stories of what you've done to help them see what you can do for them. Okay. And then, so as we just run through a quick summary of what we've talked about, full name, location, postcode, professional email address, mobile cell number there. And then we're going to go into your 5 years introduction to help you make a memorable first impression. Right? Motivated team player. Yes. Ambitious crew member. Yes. Team fast paced. Yes. Okay. Known for being reliable. Yes. Looking for a great opportunity. Yes. You want them to say yes to you as many times as possible. And then on your CV, you're looking for 2 to 3 examples of key achievements, key accomplishments you've done in the past, relevant for the role. Okay. So you talk about teamwork here. If you're in sports clubs or any extracurricular clubs, in there, you're going to have to learn how to deal with challenges, things that you've never done before. Those are all problems. You're going to have to work with other people. You're going to have to sort out new things. You might have to improve processes. Those are all relevant examples. Right? And you've got a part-time job, even better as well. Okay. You're doing some volunteer work. It's even better as well because you're having to deal with problems on a daily basis. And a lot of people tell me, I didn't think of it like that. It's because that's just what I do. I understand that, but it's not just about just what you do. You have to explain and articulate the value of what you just do. And most people, even up to see, don't understand the value of what they do. Okay. So the rest of the document. So if you even like I said, students, if you've got any work experience, put that in there. Put your education, put your hobbies and your interests as well. Okay, and the hobbies and interests is just one line at the bottom. But for me, a lot of coaches and recruiters say don't put it on there. For me, it's just one line to talk about your personality and who you are and the type of person they're going to bring into their business. Okay, and so for mine, looks like this. right? My hobbies and interests, it's got salsa dancing on it, right? Right? I've done this so many times and I've seen people laugh. So if you're laughing in here, guys, just to let you know, I was like, what the heck's he talking about? It's done on purpose, right? Because what we're doing here, if this is the last line on your CV, this is a memorable, lasting impression because I say, there's hundreds of the millions of project managers, business analysts, coaches out there. But how many of them do you know is a salsa dancing project manager? And you made the recruiter laugh or the hiring manager laugh, right? There is a method to the madness in what we're doing here, guys. Okay. But it's not just salsa dancing, so we're putting something in there. I'm talking about some transferable skills that you can use that can be transferred from salsa dancing into the office, learning new skills, meeting new people, teamwork, exercise, and having fun. Do you know of any company or any people out there would like this type of person to work with on a daily basis? Right? So yes, it can be scary, but it's putting who you are and making what you unique, and you're putting that on a piece of paper to help the right people see you, learn more about you, and want to bring you in for an interview. Okay. So as we round this up, I'm going to ask the question again. Based on what we've learned in the last 45 minutes, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your CV or your resume now? Okay. So, put it in the chat or write it down yourself in the comments, right? Give me a number of how you felt your CV was in the beginning and knowing what you know now and what you can help to fix it. And some of you might not even have a CV yet, right? But based on what you know about CVs and resumes from the beginning and how you bought it now, how would you rate your CV before and after? Okay, let me know in the chat. All right, I've had people come to me and tell me zero. This is personal opinion. It doesn't matter to me what I say. There's no right or wrong. It's opinion, and your opinion matters as much as anyone else's. Okay, I've had people come in with a zero. Or I finish, it's a 10 when we work together, right? Senior director, six-figure roles they're looking after comes in with a zero, and I have them when they finish at a 10. Here's what I want to say to you, right? This is not a CV resume course. This is not a CV resume course. This is a confidence, mindset, and career clarity course. Why? Because all the strategies, all the proven strategies, and everything else in the world does not matter if we don't feel it and believe it for ourselves. Okay? Confidence is an inside job. And it's not enough to know how good you are, or it's not enough to know how other people think you are. We have to believe it from the inside and authentically believe it for ourselves. It doesn't matter if, our parents, our siblings, our teachers, or our friends, or anyone else, right? Tell us, oh, you're amazing at what you do. It doesn't matter because if we don't believe it, then it's not true, right? Confidence is an inside job. Okay. It doesn't matter what confidence is an inside job. So when I speak to people, it's like, I can't tell you how to feel and how to believe. That comes from inside. But these tools and these strategies, although it's all about CV and resume, it's all about mindset and clarity and confidence. Again, you know what? This is the work I've done in the past, and this is how it's helping companies. And this is how it's making a difference. And that's what we're doing here. And for students, if you're watching this and you learn this can make so much of a difference throughout the rest of your career as well. Okay. And so I just want to, as we start to end, I want to share two of my favorite quotes, right? For those students, for those of you like myself, when I was your age that didn't have a clue what the heck I wanted to do yet, if you don't know where you're going, any road can take you there. The Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, right? If you're not sure what you want to do yet, just try stuff. Excuse me. Learning the skills on how to articulate your value, how to transition in different careers is something I learned very, very late in life. My career, my life would have been very different if I knew this at your age, right? As students and universities, if I knew this then, it would make it so much easier later on. And so what I want to say to you is, and I can't go back, and I'm not saying I want to go back, I'm happy for all the good and the bad and the challenging stuff because it's made me the person I am today. But what I can do is where I share this with you to say, just try stuff. It doesn't have to be forever. Your next job doesn't have to be your forever job. So you can try stuff and you like it and it was really good, but after a while you say, I've had enough. I want to try something else. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to try new things. And the tools I'm sharing where you're a student or going up can help with all those things as well. So the other thing I want to say is the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out your why. Mark Twain. Okay. One of my favorite things. 40 plus years, I've been trying to find my purpose, find my why, and find out what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. This video and what I'm doing today, and just sharing my knowledge and skills to help the next generation of leaders, to help my Pacific Island community, give them the tools and the inspiration, the motivation to go and do something else. That's all part of my why and my purpose and why I do what I do. Right. So the next slide, I want to talk to you, right? For some of you that thinking of becoming coaches, they're thinking about entrepreneurs, they think about doing things that are not the norm in your family, in your generations, and doing something new that you've never ever done before. My question, my challenge, and what I'm going to say to you is you need to ask yourself, is your why big enough? Right? Is your why big enough? Because the bigger your dreams, the bigger the challenge is going to be thrown in front of you. And sometimes the things you want to do, um, you speak to your family, you speak to your friends, you speak to the people around you, and they look at you like you're crazy, right? So sometimes we're going to have dreams that are bigger than us that no one else but ourselves can see. Think about it. Who the heck is this crazy guy from Fiji and Rotuma going online, doing videos every single day on LinkedIn and just having fun and doing things differently? Right? I'm in my t-shirt because that's the type of person I are, right? Yes, I'm on a Bulla shirt today, but most of the time in my videos, I'm on my t-shirt. And it's like, no, right? It's not about my looks. Just if you listen to it and you resonate, then we come and talk. If it doesn't resonate, go and find somebody else. It's okay. It's good. That doesn't mean we're not the right fit for each other, right? So my why and why I do what I do. I have two little girls. Okay. I have two little girls. So how do I tell my little girls to go and chase their dreams if daddy doesn't do the same? Right? For me, I believe in leading by example. Right? Lead by example and make it easier for them in the process as well. The other big why is because I'm from Fiji. And all my family and friends back home in Fiji are looking at this and like, what the heck is this guy doing? Right? Because I'm doing something else that no one else is doing. Okay. So for me is taking on that additional responsibility to be a trailblazer. Okay. To do something different that my family is not really known for doing. Right. And in the process, inspire them, do the work, make it faster, make it easier, go through the challenges so that when I get to the other side, I can turn around and help people back home in the Pacific, our island community, and anyone else in the world to say, hey, if I can do it, if this the simple boy from Fiji can come in and can do all these things, why the heck not you? What excuse have you got? Right? Education, we can learn stuff online every single day. We're in the best place now to learn, take education, but knowledge is not power. As I told you before, we have to actually use it, do something with it. But if your why is not big enough, we'll just get, oh, no, that's not me. I can't do any of that. Right? So, like you said, is I intentionally do videos. I intentionally do what I do, both for my girls and both for the community and helping and support to say, if I can do it, why not you? So as we get to the end of this session, first off, I just want to say to everyone, thank you very much for getting to the end. You can check me out on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. And, let me know in the comments if this was useful. You have any questions, let me know. for me, this talking and this sharing is not just about me. It's making sure that I'm adding value to our community, adding value to the world, and adding value to the next generation of leaders going out there. Learn these skills early, and it make your career so much more easy and fun moving forward, right? Because it's not just about finding your next job. It's being master of skills and tools to help you for the rest of your career and rest of your life. Okay. I'm also on my LinkedIn there is where I hang out. James Tomasi Kennedy. And yeah, connect, send me a message, and just let me know. Okay. And part of this, if you hear as well, add me in the comments, add in the comments, let me know what you think. Share with someone who needs this, and subscribe and follow for more. Okay, there's some additional resources in there for anyone else to check out in the comments of this section. And for Yaksha, Vinaka Vakalevu, and thank you very much for watching as well. Bye bye.